how to get 100 GoHighLevel customers paying you for your high ticket services forever. Now, what you'll need is ways to get new clients. So learning about warm, cold, posting content, and running paid ads. Because let's get it. If you can figure out how to get clients easily, every time you put $1 in, you get $3 out, you can make lots of money and have clients paying you 3, 8, or 10K upfront forever. How to get 100 GoHighLevel customers paying you for your high ticket services forever. The whole sales and marketing, sales and fulfillment funnel from click to profit, where we have the funnel, which is the market, people, humans who are all in pain, and you create advertisements, ads on Facebook and Instagram to try and allure and attract people to click on your link, fill in their information. You'll have either yourself or setters call the leads to try and book them in for an appointment, or you find cold leads, or you find people's Facebook and Instagram accounts on certain Facebook groups, or you scrape leads off the internet, name, email, and phone numbers, and you call them, or you text them, or you send them emails. This is talking about running paid ads. So paid ads, once someone opts in, you call the lead, you try and get them to book in for a call, you try and confirm the appointment, you send them a nice personal video saying, hey, welcome, looking forward to meeting with you. You set the agenda, you book in the sale, see if they qualify for your services, and then you book in a second strategy call. I like to do 2 cold closes just because I've personally seen it to be more effective, and it primes the first calls to discover who on earth you are and if you're a real human and if you're even worth having a serious conversation about. They could take 30 minutes. And the second call is the strategy call, where you actually give them strategy on how they can grow their business, or how they can implement, your service to grow their business. You get what I'm trying to say. How they can add AI, how they can add a chat widget, how they can add missed call text back. You review the demo and you prepare for the audit. You confirm the call. You dig into their pain, you pitch them the price, you handle objections, you get them to pay, you get them on a contract, you get them into your community. So we use school as our community, and we get them scheduled in on an onboarding call as well with the onboarding team. That's an overview. This is a little bit more in depth on our system, where in essence we actually, we help build med spas to $1 million. We run paid ads between $100 to $300 per day. We cold leads. We have them opt in, give us their information. We have setters call the leads, follow up with them, book them in for appointments. And then, as we said before, we have our closers do the actual demo call, do the strategy call, do the demo call to qualify them, and then do the strategy call to get them to pay. GoHighLevel is a great tool and it can make you a lot of money, but it entirely depends on your situation. Before we get into the whole acquisition side of things, you need to realize where you're currently at. You should remember this based on what we discussed earlier. Let's do a quick recap. Do you have money and time? Great. Outsource acquisition and fulfillment. Do you have money but no time? Great. Outsource acquisition and fulfillment and hire a manager to handle it all. If you have no money and time, start for free, go slow, give yourself at least like 2-3 years to figure this out, because it will take that long. Start cold calling, cold DMing, booking people in for appointments, and sign clients on free trials, and try to set them up on GoHighLevel by following YouTube videos as such. If you have no money and no time, don't bother. Seriously, don't bother. Because yeah, man, this isn't a get rich quick, like a lot of people describe it to be. This is quite difficult. And I want to be brutally honest with you. This isn't easy. So establishing acquisition systems. Now, we're going to go into a little bit more of a theory on the theory of trying to generate a system that continuously gets you new inquiries, new booked calls, and new customers to fulfill. So what is a system? A system is a collection of processes organized to process inputs to produce outputs. Again, this is Charlie Morgan's information. I'll add his YouTube channel down in the description. He's an exceptional mentor of mine, and I want to share this information with you because I think it would be beneficial in helping you grow your GoHighLevel agency. This diagram makes systems thinking extremely simple. Systems get much more complicated than this, but fortunately, client acquisition systems are simple to gauge. This is how it works. You have the function, which is the purpose of the system, the inputs, which is the raw materials inputted into the system, the processes, the things that convert the raw material into the end product, the outputs, which is the end product, the feedback, which is the information provided by outputs that can be used to improve inputs, and then the environment which this system operates in. Sounds a little bit funky, don't worry. We'll get into how this relates to client acquisition. But in essence, understanding systems gives you a 0.0001% unfair advantage amongst the online space. Systems do not mean automations, they mean predictability. Don't mistake the two. Systems do not mean results, they mean functions. separate to intentions. Systems always produce the results that are designed to. If what you want the system to output isn't what it's outputting, it does not mean the system is broken or not working. Do not mistake personal intention with function. Here's an example with lasagna. If you want to make a good lasagna, but your inputs are the fact that there's no salt, that it's stale lasagna sheets, and that you have put it to 300 Celsius degrees, which is way too hot. It should be on 200. The outputs is not a very good lasagna. The feedback from the customer or the person who's eating the lasagna could let them know that it's too salty or overcooked. And the environment that you used to make the lasagna is, the tools that you use. So the rusty knife, the pans, the oven. These are the systems. This is what a system looks like of lasagna creating. The system, that's the intention to make good lasagna, but the actual function, the results is bad lasagna due to incorrect inputs and incorrect processes. Now let's relate this to client acquisition. You have humans in a niche, which is typically strangers, right? You have the processors, which is a chain of stimuli designed to elicit micro blah, 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 blah. Basically, you have stimuli trying to get people to book an appointment with you and jump on a sales call and sell them, right? You have then the output, which is getting clients, and then you have feedback, which is the metrics in which it takes to get an engaged lead, the metrics it takes to get an engaged lead to a book appointment, the metrics to get a booked appointment to show up to a sales call, the metrics from sales calls to close. These are the metrics there and the data that you need to keep track of. And then finally, there's the environment. So it's the market, it's the niche, it's the place that who are you targeting? And this is what it could look like. Pretty crazy, pretty crazy. This is in essence the whole system. These are the systems within the system of client acquisition. You need ways in which to acquire attention, get people interested, like, hey, get attention, right? Get people interested in what you have to offer. Then from that interest, get appointments to show, get primed prospects actually interested in what you have to offer and ready to sell, ready to buy. And then finally closing the deal. These are all the systems, these are all the environments, these are all the inputs, these are all the systems, and these are all the results. And these are the micro systems that result in getting a closed deal. And that's why Alex Hormozi always talks about the rule of 100. You need $100 a day, 100 cold calls, 100 minutes of content, something to provide attention, value, and interest to get booked appointments or sales calls, to try and get them to show, to try and get them to be interested in buying your product, and then finally closing them on the deal. Now, with each system comes these definitions, right? Like the understanding throughput, yield, and bottlenecks and latencies will have you have a better understanding of systems, client acquisition systems. So with throughput is the flow of value through a system. So the conversions of inputs into outputs. So if I'm spending, for instance, if I'm cold calling 100 people, and the bottleneck, which is the points in a system where throughput becomes restricted, I'm DMing 100 people, but every time I DM 100 people, I get capped, and I'm unable to DM more than 100 people. That's a bottleneck. And the yield is the amount of output processed by system. Maybe after DMing 100 people, 30 people actually see it, and 5 of them reply with a positive reply, and I book in 1 appointment. And latency is the time elapsed between being inputted and output being outputted. So maybe I message people today, and then 5 days later, people actually reply, and 1 week goes by and I book in 1 appointment from that 1 DM, right? So that's the latency between what you do and the result that you get. We have a better understanding of establishing acquisition systems. Now let's figure out what we can actually do to get more clients. And that is the core 4, taken by Alex Hormozi. Love Alex Hormozi. We're best friends. He just doesn't know we're best friends yet. So the core 4, how does it work? Warm outreach. So we need people to buy your stuff. And the easiest and the warmest list is your contact list, whether it's your Facebook friends list, your LinkedIn connections, your phone contact list, wherever you can find leads, name, email, phone numbers, wherever where you can connect with people. That's where I would start. I unfortunately chose to work with doctors, and I am not well connected with doctors. So it's my mistake. Hence why, I didn't get the number of outreaches that I wanted to. Warm outreach is great because you get higher response rates, easier to build rapport, and leverages existing relationships for smoother conversations. So if you have people on your LinkedIn list, reach out to them and try and form a relationship and try and see if they're open to working with you. Cold outreach. Now this is typically where most people start. Now, cold outreach is a tough one because it requires, you're basically reaching out to strangers to try and offer them, to try and get them to buy something from you. And that's quite difficult because not many people are going to trust you at first glance. People are becoming less trusting nowadays than they ever were, because there's a lot of fake stuff online and scams. So how I like to lead is by offering something for free, whether it's a free website, whether it's a free software trial, whether it's a free social media audit, whether it's an irresistible offer that they can't refuse. Consider who's in your network. Here's what I did to get my first client. I essentially cold called and cold DM'd business owners to book in appointments. During these conversations, I offered a free trial of my time and services, with the only condition being that they cover the cost of GoHighLevel and third-party softwares. This approach led to my first free trial client and eventually my first paying client. I've also put in the link, a description of this guy. His name's Karsten Fox. He's exceptional. He knows a lot about client acquisition. Basically, this is lead scraping tools that he's recommended, and he's done a whole YouTube video on the best lead scraping tools that you can use. I'll put it in the description. Fantastic YouTube video. And then here's another example. Here's a cold outreach script that we used for cold calling leads. Let me read it for you. So this is our script. Reword it in your way, but this is what we use to get new clients. So let's begin. The setup would go, hey, is this Sharon from XYZ Clinic? I just wanted to know if you were a clinic owner by any chance. They would reply yes or no. And then the setup would say, hey, I know this is random, but I just found your number on Google and I wanted to see if you're open to a simple partnership. We've got a system that uses AI that can add an additional 30 patients in 30 days, or we work for free until we do. We've got 40 other clinics in our group using these systems, and we're open to 3 more applications this month. Are you free this afternoon or tomorrow morning for a Google Meet with one of our partners? First sentence, I wanted to see if you were a clinic owner by any chance. We qualified them to make sure that they're the clinic owner. They're the person that we want to speak to, not the receptionist. If it's the receptionist, we try and get through to the actual clinic owner. Second one is, I know this is random, but I found your number on Google and I wanted to see if you're open to a simple partnership. Simple partnership, right? So if you're open to a collaboration, if you're open to working together. I know this is random, but I found your number on Google. That gives them a reason as to why you found them online, and this gives them permission for you to pitch them a service. So typically what they say is, no, I'm not interested, or no, I don't want a simple partnership. Or the second question they typically ask is, what type of partnership? And then we go into the actual offer. A system that uses AI that can add an additional 30 patients, 30 days, or we work for free until we do. Now the thing is, we actually have these systems that can do that and get them these results. So if you're unable to offer this to clients, I wouldn't lead with that. I would offer, hey, I built out a free website for you and I wanted to see if you're open to jumping on a call to take a look at it. Or, hey, I just found your website online and I think it needed a quick update. I created the first page for you and I wanted to see if you're open to taking a look at it on a quick Google Meet tomorrow. Are you interested? We can only say this because we've been doing it for 2 years. Afterwards, after we get them interested and they say yes for the appointment, we qualify them. So we ask them more information about their business, how many clients that they're seeing, how many patients are they seeing, what are they doing with their marketing, what are their biggest obstacles with their marketing. Do you feel like you'd be ready to make it an action if the investment made sense? Do they make over $10,000 per month in profit? Can you ensure that all decision makers will be present on the Google Meet? This is to get them to verbally agree to actually showing up to the appointment and making sure that they actually make enough money for our software and our services to make sense, because we charge between $1,000 to $5,000 per month. So sometimes we charge between $8,000 to $12,000 upfront as well. So you want to make sure that they're making enough money to justify this cost. When finished booking the appointments, I want to mention, after this call, I'll send you a quick YouTube video explaining our program via SMS and email. Throughout that video, there'll be a secret word that you'll use to gain access to our exclusive discount. Now, the reason why we did that is because quick YouTube video, everyone watches YouTube. They don't think it's going to be long. You don't want to say video sales letter or Loom video. You just want to say YouTube video, because that sounds like a lower level of commitment. And then the fact that there will be a secret word that you use to gain access to our exclusive discount when you join our partner on our call. Now, the discount, the reason we added this is because when we get on to the actual sales call, we'll ask them what they thought of the video. And if they knew what the secret word was, we knew they watched at least 20 to 40 to an hour's worth of content on us and who we are and what we do, meaning that they were nurtured more, they understood our program, we answered the majority of their objections, and they were more ready to be sold than a demonstration, right? Is my recommendation. This takes, like, I would personally do a Loom video overviewing your accounts. I can add, in the link in the description, I'll add a demo video going through GoHighLevel and its intricacies. I would personally film it yourself with Loom video style like this so that they can get familiar with who they're going to be speaking to on the sales call. But if you want just a generic high-level sales video, we can add that for you here as well. Posting content. Now, I'm not too big on posted content because I know it takes a long time to build a brand. And I would personally work with influencers who've been doing it for years as opposed to posting content in your niche. Unless you already have a big audience, fine. If you don't, I'd post content. And then finally, running paid ads. As I showed you before, We personally work with Facebook and Instagram. That's where we've seen the best leads for our niche. Majority of people should be on Facebook and Instagram, at least with clinics. Send them over to a landing page, have them opt in, fill in their name, email, and phone number, and then have either yourself call the leads or appointment setters call in the leads to book them in for appointments. I'm going to add 2 more videos in the description going through how you can, run paid ads, how you can figure out how to run paid ads for yourself. Or if you wanted, we've used this company before, automateclients.io. They do a pay per appointment basis, a pay per deal basis. They take 10%, and I believe it costs like $3,000 to start with them. So it's pretty good. You have to cover the ad spend, but they're the ones who help create an offer, create the ads, create the creatives, run the ads for you. And if you don't get booked appointments and sales calls, then they don't make money. If you wanted to find appointment setters, you can outsource it. You find it yourself on Upwork. This is very simple to make a post. Or, and this is the post that I've used before, we pay our setters commission rather than salary and per hour. Because if you pay a base rate of commission, like for instance $500 or $1,000, make sure there's some sort of guarantee that they have to hit a certain amount of booked appointments and showed appointments, or else they don't get the full amount, or they don't get additional commissions, whatever it is. Because I've wasted lots of money on setters that don't perform. And don't think that they will just perform. You need to be on them. You need to be reviewing calls. You need to be making sure that the leads are being followed up with. You'll need to manage them or hire someone to manage the setters. Running paid ads, outsourcing finding appointment setters. So you can find setters yourself, or you can outsource it to these 2 companies, closers.io. They recruit top candidates, top sales candidates, or Level 9 Virtual, which is a company that's familiarized themselves with GoHighLevel. They were the first people providing chat support services for HighLevel. So exceptional people. Here's some quick tips for success. I'd recommend integrating your Slack channel to HighLevel. So whenever a new lead comes in, they get Slack notified, as well as I'd recommend daily group coaching calls. So you can build the community essentially within your group. Another bonus, I suggest filming a short Loom video and incorporating a free gift to entice people to show up for their calls, right? So ways in which we do that is by sending them that YouTube video or Loom video, like going into more depth on what your services actually is, as well as trying to bribe them to show up by saying, hey, we're thinking about sending, would you prefer a shirt or a hat? For any new clients that show up, we're giving a shirt or a hat. Which one do you want? And they can say, oh, I want the hat. So that means that they're going to show up, and they're more interested and they're more engaged with actually committing to the show. Cool. So now that's getting clients to show interest, book an appointment, and show up to the call. How do we close the deal? Sales scripts. So in the link in the description, again, I've attached a script that I've used. It's called the $1 Million Sales Script to convert clients. Now, here's a really cool tip as well. I sell conversational AI. That's my lead-in. I recommend doing the same. If you're trying to sell HighLevel, sell one specific feature, not the whole thing. Sell websites, sell chat widgets, sell conversational AI. AI should be an easier sell. Should still be an easier sell, but bear in mind, the more people that learn about GoHighLevel and learn about Zappy Chat and conversational AI, the more competition there will be in terms of saturated offers. So do it sooner than later. On my first call, I basically qualify to see if the prospect's actually a good fit. On the second call, I research the prospect 5 minutes before, 10 minutes before the call, see what their LinkedIn, what they post, what blogs they like, or what videos they watch, and that's good for building rapport, as well as I message their Facebook and Instagram page and I basically say, hey, I'm interested in your services. Can I please book an appointment? I also take a look to see if they run ads or have a chat widget on their website. On the call, when I get into the sales calls after the first 5-10 minutes, I basically expose them by showing them that no one has responded to their inquiries, and that if they don't respond to any new inquiries within 5 minutes, they've lost their prospect. What I mean by that is when I message them on Facebook, and when I get to the call of like, hey, I've taken a look at your Facebook, and I've tried messaging you and emailing you and filling my information, saying that I'm interested in trying to book an appointment with you, but no one is responding to me. How strange. Did you know that if you don't respond to your inquiries within 5 minutes, they tend to lose interest and go off to the next business down the road who responds to them within that time frame? So we also do this. This has worked quite well. We combine it with Money Map. So if we're selling AI, right, and you realize, how much is a client worth to them in lifetime value? $1,000. Cool. and they get, 10 missed calls per day, or they get 10 DMs per day that they don't respond to within 5. You multiply that by 10. So there's 365 days in a year. Multiply 10 missed calls or missed DMs per day. They potentially have 3,650 potential prospects that they have yet to respond to. Each client being worth $1,000, which means they miss out on almost $3.6 million worth of potential revenue every single year. What if we're able to capture at least 1%, right? Just 37 customers out of the 3,650. Do you think we'll be able to bring in $37,000 worth of revenue that you never had? That's a great way to position yourself with either missed call text back or selling AI. That's what we've been using at least. Next, we have closing deals. So I've attached two. This is the sales script as well. So yeah, pretty cool. Feel free to customize it. It's very simple. I'll add objections as well in the list as well. There's a whole list of objection handling questions and answers that I'll provide for you as well. But regarding the pitch deck, this is one I made using for database reactivation. So over here we talk about database reactivation. We use the closer framework. So if you've not watched Alex Hormozy's video on the closer framework, I would highly recommend it. Closer framework basically is a simple framework you can use to close deals. Don't know why it's not loading, but I'll add the video in the description. First thing we do is clarify why they're there. We then label their problems, make sure that they feel heard and understood. We overview their past pain points. So what have they done in the past to resolve that question? Resolve that pain. This is one I want to implement as well. We talk about the future pacing. So what would their future business look like? What would their future business look like if they took action? What kinds of opportunities would open up for them? What are the consequences if they don't do anything, right? Cool. So this is the imaginary future that you'll get Mr. Business Owner with on the beach in Bali, and you've retired and you've sold your business. Now, what if you don't do anything right now? Do you think you'll get to where you want to get to if you stay the same, if you're doing what you're doing right now? No? Cool. Now that we have a better understanding of yourself and your business, would you like to hear about our program? So now that you've gone into labeling, overviewing, talking about the future and the consequences of an action, you talk about the program and the 5 steps. So this is database reactivation, which is importing lists into the CRM. You send over an irresistible offer, you send a text, an email blast, you follow up with all inquiries, and you turn your list into cash. You talk about your packages, you talk about the bonuses that they'll receive, which is access to the CRM, onboarding, support, and a special offer if they choose to move forward is that, it's a one-time investment. So if they're able to make a decision today, you talk about our price, you then slash the price, in half and say, hey, if you're able to move forward with us today, this will be the offer. This will be the price. It's instead of $5,000, it will be $2,000 and a monthly maintenance of $500. These are common objections that I was discussing. I don't have money. I need to talk to my wife. I can't afford this. What's your guarantee? Can I speak to some clients or references? And if you can't overcome the objection, secure a refund, schedule a deposit and a call with their partners, and then book a follow-up call 24 hours in the next 24 hours. Sam has also created one that looks like this. It's the genie in the box method, where in essence he sells lead generation and Facebook ads. If there was a way to eliminate low quality leads, get booked appointments hands off, and start getting results almost immediately, would you be a 1 out? If we're able to do that for you, would it be a 1 or would it be a 10? If they say anything less than 10, you ask them what would make it a 10, and you would essentially frame that. You would sell the product in a way in which that resolves their need for it to be a 10. So if they say, oh yeah, it's a 9 for me, but and then they would ask, Sam would ask, or the salesperson would ask, okay, what would make it a 10? And you say, oh, if the booked appointments could show up. And then in the actual sales call, in the pitch, you talk about, hey, we actually use conversational AI to make sure the leads are followed up and are being followed up with, are being answered immediately within 5 minutes, and making sure that they show up to the appointments. That makes it a 10 out of 10 for me. Now I don't see why I wouldn't move forward. So that's an example of pitch decks that I've used. I've used both. As well as the sales script. Here's another tip. I do 2 call closes. First call being one where we try and disqualify them. So don't take everyone. That's a mistake I made. When you're new, you just want clients. But as you get better and you learn more about annoying clients and clients that will just churn and be a headache and ask for refunds and disputes, you'll realize what a good client is and what isn't a good client. So in that first call, you should do your best to try and disqualify rather than qualify, right? It gives them time, as well as instead of trying to get their money on the first call, it gives you time to build a relationship with them. And in the second call, you can then prepare a strategy or an audit for them and make sure that they have all decision makers prepared for the call on their laptop, ready to listen. Because some people just answer on their iPad or on their iPhone and are on the move, and they actually aren't serious about learning what you have to offer. So, and this is another thing we also implemented. We cancel the call if they haven't watched the Loom video. They wouldn't know what you're selling and they don't know why it's important. And they obviously didn't, they said they were interested in the call, but they didn't even bother searching you up and your company up and what you actually offered. So if they're not willing to put the time into you, why should you put the time into them? Is how I see it. Finding closers. This is the next step to financial freedom and geographical freedom and time freedom. Finding closers, you can either do it yourself on Upwork, or again, you can outsource it to closers.io or Level 9 Virtual. Sales, trainings, tips. Guys, do daily group coaching, review sales calls, good, bad, and when they overcome objections. Do that. Make sure that they show up to the calls. Make sure that you practice role play, dealing with objections with them, and do weekly one-on-one calls, reviewing the sales calls. Webinars. Webinars were a little bit trickier. We did a webinar and spent over $5,000 to get 70 attendees and sold around 3 low-ticket SaaS clients at $1,000 per client. Haven't really figured this one out yet. Still trying. If you want more advice on selling one-to-many, I would recommend speaking to Mr. Andy O'Day. He did a 3-day webinar on how to land SaaS customers with GoHighLevel. Guys, thank you so much for listening. If you wanted my full GHL University agency bundle, simply sign up on one of these affiliate links. Once you do sign up as well, you'll also get a $500 coupon for all GHL University products. We cap it at the first 10 people, so if the coupon link doesn't work, you'll know why. Next, if you wanted the full GHL University course, which is modules 1 to 10 plus bonuses on how to use GoHighLevel and how to get set up on GoHighLevel for yourself and your clients, these are the 3 ways you can do it. You can either purchase it, by a la carte. You can either turn yourself into an AI as well. So if you're interested in that, book a call. Or if you wanted unlimited chat support, GoHighLevel onboarding, and to gain access to the AI course, book a call or click the link and purchase it. So, and finally, if you just want to hang out and if you have any specific questions, I do bonus coaching calls every single Monday at 11 a.m. PST. Again, if you have any questions, ping me. I'd love to help you get set up. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was helpful and have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you.